Many people look back on their lives and feel a quiet ache, not for what they did, but for what they didn't do, for the risks they avoided, for the conversations they never had. There's a pattern behind these regrets that most people miss until it's too late. Here's something subtle that happens in workplaces, relationships, and life decisions. Environments slowly expand what seems possible without anyone explicitly giving permission. In financial services, advisors don't wake up planning to mislead clients. They operate in systems where incentives, targets, and norms gradually redefine what feels acceptable. Small compromises become standard practice. What once felt wrong starts feeling normal. This same drift happens everywhere. People take jobs that don't fit them because the opportunity was there. They stay in relationships that died years ago because leaving feels harder than staying. They silence their own voice because speaking up might disrupt the peace. The problem isn't bad intentions, it's that opportunity shapes behavior more powerfully than intent ever could. Consider how pressure reshapes perception. Someone works late every night. At first, it feels temporary, a deadline, a busy season. Then it becomes the baseline. Colleagues do it. Leadership expects it. Saying no starts to feel like failure. Speed becomes the standard. Reflection becomes a luxury. Choices get made on autopilot, and those choices accumulate into entire years. This is how people end up living lives they never chose, not through dramatic moments, but through 1,000 small surrenders to what felt normal at the time. Many individuals chase success defined by others. Metrics that earn approval. Status that impresses strangers. Achievements that look good on paper. They climb ladders leaning against the wrong walls. The realization comes later, often much later. Regret isn't weakness. It's data. It shows where life diverged from values, where external expectations overrode internal truth, where fear dressed up as practicality. Research on end-of-life regrets shows a clear pattern. People don't regret failed projects or missed promotions. They regret living according to others' expectations instead of their own. They regret working too much and connecting too little. They regret silence when honesty was needed. The greatest regret isn't trying and failing. It's never trying at all. It's honoring everyone's voice except your own. Here's a common scenario. Someone builds a successful career, good salary, respected position. From the outside, everything looks right. But inside, there's a persistent emptiness, a sense that life is happening around them, not through them. They traded authenticity for security, and the security never felt like enough. Excessive focus on work doesn't just steal time, it crowds out presence. Someone can be physically home but mentally absent. Relationships become transactional. Joy becomes scheduled. Life becomes something that happens after the work is done, except the work is never done. People tell themselves they're providing for their families, securing the future, building something meaningful. And sometimes that's true. But often, it's a comfortable story that masks fear. Fear of slowing down, fear of irrelevance, fear of facing what's missing. Years pass. Children grow up. Partners grow distant. Health declines. And the work that consumed everything suddenly matters far less than the moments that were missed. Many individuals suppress their feelings to keep peace. They avoid difficult conversations to maintain stability. They smile when they're hurting, agree when they disagree, pretend everything is fine when it isn't. This creates distance, shallow relationships that look functional but lack depth, resentment that builds quietly until it hardens into bitterness, potential connections that never fully form because authenticity was traded for comfort. Unexpressed emotions don't disappear. They accumulate. They shape how people see themselves and others. They create walls disguised as politeness. The irony is that the peace being protected is often an illusion. Real peace comes from honest connection, not from avoiding conflict. When everything else falls away, money, titles, performance, status, only certain things remain. Love, connection, shared moments. The feeling of being truly seen and accepted. Relationships outlast achievement. always. But many people realize this only when it's too late to repair what broke, too late to say what needed saying, too late to prioritize presence over productivity. Here's what happens at the end. Titles don't matter, bank accounts don't matter, awards don't matter. What matters is whether people felt loved, whether they loved fully, whether they showed up for the moments that couldn't be recreated. This isn't sentimental, it's observable reality. Talk to hospice workers. Read research on end-of-life reflections. The pattern is unmistakable. Many people realize too late that happiness was always available. Not as a destination, not as something earned through achievement, but as a choice, a perspective, a way of engaging with life. Fear of change keeps people in situations that drain them. Comfort and familiarity becomes a prison disguised as stability. The known pain feels safer than unknown possibility. Someone stays in a job they hate for decades. They tell themselves it's responsible, practical. But underneath, it's fear. Fear of starting over. Fear of uncertainty. Fear of discovering they're capable of more. Happiness isn't waiting at some future milestone. It's here. In how people choose to see their circumstances. In small decisions made daily. In alignment between actions and values. But choosing happiness requires letting go of others' definitions of success. It requires disappointing people. It requires uncertainty. And many would rather be quietly miserable than openly uncertain. Awareness today prevents regret tomorrow. This isn't abstract philosophy, it's practical reality. The patterns that create regret are visible long before they solidify into permanent outcomes. Slowing down reveals misalignment. Reflection shows where life diverges from values. Honest assessment highlights what matters versus what merely feels urgent. Redefining success personally, not culturally, changes everything. What actually matters to an individual? What would they protect if everything else fell away? What brings genuine satisfaction rather than external validation? Acting intentionally, not automatically, breaks the drift. Every choice becomes conscious. Every compromise gets examined. Autopilot gets replaced with awareness. Aligning choices with values creates coherence. Life starts feeling integrated rather than fragmented. Work serves life instead of consuming it. Relationships deepen. Presence increases. This doesn't require dramatic upheaval. It requires consistent small adjustments, course corrections, recalibrations. Regret shows what actually mattered all along. It reveals truth that got buried under expectations, obligations, and fear. But regret doesn't have to be the teacher. People can learn from others' patterns. They can examine their own lives while there's still time to adjust. They can choose authenticity over approval, connection over achievement, presence over productivity. The life well lived isn't defined by external markers. It's defined by internal alignment, by choices that honor personal values, by relationships that go deep, by moments fully inhabited. This is available to everyone. Not someday, not after the next milestone, now. The question isn't whether people will have regrets. It's whether those regrets will come from trying or from never trying, from living fully or from living cautiously, from honoring their truth or from silencing it. Looking back, which small compromises do you notice shaping your life? Staying in unfulfilling situations? Missing moments with loved ones? Avoiding change out of fear? Comment your reflection. If you related to this, like the video and subscribe to join the journey toward a better mindset. Which of these patterns feels most familiar? Staying silent when honesty mattered? Choosing comfort over growth? Overworking while missing meaningful moments? Share your experience in the comments.